No one cares. No one even cares. I've been drinking tonight a little bit. I was going to talk about septum piercing pain. Is what I was going to talk about. Because I can be brutally honest right now. Brutally honest. I would like to point out that all of my piercings thus far, have been home piercings. So, if that makes you turn away, go away. But, that's what they have been. They've been home piercings that I've done myself. My ears, both of these, 1, 2, stretching at home, which most people do anyways. My septum, right here, this guy, which has healed perfect, does not hurt, and my snake bites. I've done them all. Now, I would like to point out that I was in phlebotomy, which, if you don't know, is drawing blood with needles. I have gone through courses. I have done extensive, and I mean extensive schooling in bloodborne pathogens, transmittable diseases, taking care of areas, and just overall general sanitation. So before you sit and comment on how I shouldn't be doing that, I have taken extreme courses, and nothing I've ever done is unsanitary. So, to point things out, my septum was my most painful piercing. My most painful piercing ever. Some people say that it really doesn't bother them, that it's okay, it doesn't hurt very much. It hurt me. It hurt a lot. When I lost my ring at work, I figured it would be okay, that it wouldn't matter, that my septum would stay open like most people claim that theirs does. Mine didn't stay open, it closed. And getting that needle through took 2 days of just sterilizing and sea salt and making sure everything was clean and then trying to push it through. My nerves hurt. Everything was sensitive. Everything just hurt. It sucked major balls. So when the ring fell out, I've heard that most people's septums actually stays open. Mine didn't. Unfortunately, mine did not. It kind of scarred. It didn't actually really scar. I use hollow needles. I've heard that some people say that it's really bad to use the gauge up so you can stick the jewelry through. That piercing is an art of actually chasing the place where you pierced it. I think that it's a good idea. Colby's back.
Colby's back!
He's going to tell you about his lip piercing here in a moment, after I talk about my septum.
I don't know what we're doing, so I guess that's what I'm doing?
But Colby can vouch that I've been through a lot of medical classes, so,
yes.
I've never been unsanitary in piercing. I've always been really smart about it, I would say, like, that I've not been stupid. I had to take bloodborne pathogen classes, just to be a phlebotomist. I know how needles work. I'm not stupid. I'm really not stupid. I'm not taking a safety pin through my lip.
I did. Yeah.
It wasn't a safety pin.
What was it?
Okay, before I did the classes.
It was a sewing needle.
Before the classes, and I will admit that this was stupid. Colby and I will both admit how we were stupid with our first lip piercing. We took sewing needles. We took a mattress needle.
Oh, also Breeze here, just so you know.
Okay, whatever. We took a mattress needle through the lip. It was really painful. It was really hard. I'm all about hollow needles now. Kobe's all about hollow needles. They work a lot better. Mm-hmm. And I was telling them, I don't know if you agree, but I've heard that some people say that piercing is an art form and that you should only use the gauge that your jewelry is going to be and be able to chase it through. Like, you should be able to be skilled enough that you don't need a hollow needle to put your jewelry in.
Well, that's what did mine.
And my septum.
Oh, and your septum, yes.
But I think that it's a beneficial idea to have a bigger needle so that you can just put that jewelry through and it will heal
It
around
works
the
really
jewelry.
well on your lip.
It did. It really did. I think it's a preference. I think you can ask your piercer if they're comfortable with that. I would not say to do piercings at home, honestly.
It's gonna heal closed regardless of what needle you put through. So just go with a size bigger. Makes it so much easier.
It feels a lot better,
Yes.
in my opinion, because it's gonna hurt having that needle shoved through anyways.
And I had to stretch mine to make it the size that the needle was in the first place.
Yeah, which was really painful for him. It was like when I stretched my ears. I stretched my ears
Yeah.
the stupid way, which I already explained. I don't think that anyone should stretch them. But if you're going to do home piercings, please, please, please research your stuff. Me and Kobe did. Before I pierced my septum, ask him how many web pages I was on, how many times. I was thorough.
Very paranoid kind of thing.
And I'm not saying that's the best route because a piercer obviously knows more, but at this point I've been through the same classes that they have other than learning how to pierce specific body parts. I have done everything that they have done. Like, legitimately. But my septum was my most painful piercing. It was by far the worst. And I don't know why some people think it's their easiest, but I guess pain is subjective. And my septum was my worst. The first time I did it, it was very painful. The second time I did it, I actually cried. I actually cried. And it's small. It's an 18 gauge.
I will agree with that. I helped her with that.
He had helped me get my jewelry through because it was so painful. I was shaking.
I tried to help her pierce it, and she wouldn't stop throwing punches at me.
That's not true.
No, but she was freaking out.
But that would be my most painful piercing. Like, honest to God, it was really hard. Septums are really sensitive. I asked Kobe just to feel what it was like to have the needle touch his skin. Because it feels like electrons, like electricity is just kind of...
It feels like one of those prank packs of gum that you try to pull the gum out and it shocks you.
Just by touching it to the
your
skin.
Nose.
And that hurts really bad. So, we did pierce Kobe's lip at home. So I'm going to let him describe the experience, and I'm going to back up so he can take the shot, because I talked about my septum. Septum hurt really bad. I used a 14 gauge the first time, and a 16 the second time. So we chased it with a 16 gauge jewelry the second time, which made me cry. It got swollen. It was terrible. The first time I was able to put my jewelry through, but it took 2 days to pierce it. My most painful piercing yet. Most painful. But I loved it. I still love it. It's great. I don't mind the septum funk, because I do get that sometimes. A little smell.
Not just you, though. Kind of an everybody thing.
What do you mean?
I mean, everybody who's got a healing piercing knows that smell. It's not just a you thing.
Oh, I was like, but no one ever, because it's in your own nose, like...
You're used to it.
Unless someone is, like, in my nose, they can't smell it personally. Like, you cannot smell someone's septum funk personally unless they really don't take care of it. They really don't take care of it. My ears, there have been times where everyone can smell my ears.
Yeah, I've had bad experiences with people's ears.
But not with me. That was not with me.
No,
I keep my ears very clean.
You do. Like, yours are surprisingly not...
Stinky.
Noxious would be a good word.
So, I'm going to let Kobe take over and talk about his lip piercing, because we did do it at home. I am the one who pierced it, but he did have to fish it and thread it through. Which, he did cause some tunneling in his lips, but I will let him describe that, where you accidentally started pushing it through and making your own hole with the barbell instead of...
Yeah, that hurt.
So, I do not suggest piercings at home. I really don't, unless you know what you're doing. I mean, after a while, me and Kobe knew how to handle hollow needles, and more so with me than anything else. And I have taken bloodborne pathogen classes. I have taken the necessary means. I mean, I know how blood diseases spread and blood infection.
And I had to help her study, so I'm good enough.
Yeah. I mean, would you think that I did any of my piercings stupidly, other than the first lip piercing?
Besides the fact that we did them ourselves. Kind of.
I mean...
Without the forceps, anyway?
Forceps for my nose. You don't need forceps for your lip.
I did fuck up your lip pretty bad.
We're not talking about the fuck up on my lip.
Okay,
maybe,
never mind then.
Maybe another video. Maybe another video. But I'm gonna let Kobe talk about his lip piercing because
your sister?
Because it was bad. Yeah, I'm gonna go say hi to Bree, and Kobe's gonna talk about his lip piercing. If you say weird shit, just click the stop recording when you're done and upload the video, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Please tag it though so that people can find it.
I will leave the tags to you.
Okay.
So, yeah, we pierced my lip at her house. We used a sewing needle, or a mattress needle, is what she was calling it. And it hurt like a bitch. And since it wasn't the piercing needle, hollow point, like razor sharp, didn't cut it right, so it didn't fit right either. And it was a chore to get the piercing, or the jewelry through. So I crammed it through, really odd angle, started ripping my own hole, started bleeding everywhere. It was really uncomfortable. And so yeah, there's that. Then I decided that the 16 gauge was too dainty, too girly. So I decided to stretch it. And instead of just stretching it, I decided to shove a 14 gauge piercing just through it. That didn't work. So I had to re-pierce it with a bigger needle, which I just used 14, and it hurt like a bitch. I mean, I suggest using a bigger needle to pierce it and just running the jewelry through anyway. But yeah, it was uncomfortable and it hurt a fuck ton. And I'm not gonna say I cried, because that sounds pathetic. My eyes definitely did water. Yeah, that happened. And it was uncomfortable and it hurt a lot. And then actually recently I took it out thinking I would get in trouble for having it, and decided that I really didn't want to take it out. I tried to put it back through, but the lip had puckered up. Hurt like a bitch. So there's that. Also, that girl that just left, Desi, I'm in love with that girl. No, it's not like completely relevant, but I am. So there's that. But yeah, my lip hurt. I suggest at least using forceps if you're going to do it at home, because it makes it a lot easier. And I had to pierce her earlier today, and without having forceps, it's kind of a pain in the ass. And I know she said save it for another video, but I ripped her lip open and pierced a vein, and her whole lip turned purple, and I will take full responsibility for that. But yeah, so there's that. Also, I kind of feel like I come off gay in a lot of these videos. I'm not. I feel like I need to clarify. So, I mean, I love you guys. I know I don't know you, but I love you, and I'm sure she does too. So, everybody have a wonderful night, yeah? See ya.